This year in art, I have learned a lot more than I thought I was ever going to. It has been a really good experience because I have had to open up my mind and learn to do things more creatively. Our first project this semester was a piece on our iPads. It could be anything we wanted to do and on any app. The second project we did was a contour outline of a pop can. The first thing we did with this was we just drew the basic contour outline of the can. Then we added a little more detail until we finally had finished with all the details. The last thing we did was crushed up the can, and then we drew a new picture of the crushed up one. The third project we did was the pen and ink drawing. This project took a long time and had a lot of detail. This project taught us how to use line and watermarking. In this project, you had to go back and forth between your drawing and the picture of it. Using the pen and ink was hard because sometimes the ink would drop on your paper, and so you would have to make something out of it. The next project we did was a wire portrait of ourselves. In this project, we learned about shape and line. We had to draw our heads and then trace the drawing in wire. This project was very difficult because the wire was hard to move and bend. You also had to get the exact shapes down or it would not turn out well. The next project we did was clay leaves. This was my favorite project of the semester. This project we worked on with shape and we started with color. This was a fun project because we went outside to pick leaves and then we came in and pressed them against clay and started forming it. Then after they were dried and fired, we painted them. The painting introduced us to color, blending, and making new colors. The next project we did was a skeleton drawing. This was hard because you had to find the right shape for the skeleton and you also had to shade darker in some spots rather than others. Then we went to a project that worked on foreshortening. In this project, we took a foreshortened picture of ourselves and then printed it off. We then colored on the back of it and then traced through to another paper. This project taught me that foreshortening does make the picture look better than regular pictures in some cases. The next project we did was the Frank Gehry sculpture. This project had us working with form. We had to plan out the details of our building and then we had pieces of paper and started to bend, fold, and cut to make our sculptures. The next project we did was the Georgia O'Keeffe watercolor flower. This project worked with color. We had to find a picture of a flower with bright colors and then we started painting them. The most difficult point in this project was making the colors stand out and making them dark enough or light enough. Our final project this semester was our bow project. This one was one of my favorites. We were given a bow and a canvas, and our task was to paint the bow, but the only thing that we could use was one color. We had to work a lot with colors and the shading. We had to add some very dark paint in some places and some white in others to add highlight. Art this semester has been a good experience for me, and when I look back at the beginning, I realize that I have learned a lot.